cookie board.
Was he hole here anywhere? I don't see it. Okay, so I'm gonna be on YouTube today. Yeah, you're gonna be on in a minute. Okay, so I'm gonna be on YouTube today. Watch. Hey, Laura, Mr. Purse, look, he took his glasses off. He thinks he looks better.
I see better without them.
Oh.
But he stopped.
Okay, let's go to Facebook. And we're going to put this up on Facebook today. There's barking. Who's calling me? California. Hello. Good. Yeah. Well, I'll tell you, the only problem is I'm on a Facebook call now. You're gonna have to call me back. No, not 5 minutes, in about 2 hours. Okay. God, I must be a lover of renowned stories. They must talk about me in different countries.
If you write the person's name as who just called you, every time they call, their name will come up.
Well, I block it.
What?
I block it. Who am I looking for?
So how were you able to answer it?
Well, I just blocked that one. They call from different numbers all the time.
Who is it?
Huh?
Who was it?
I don't know. One of the.
Yeah, he wanted to come through.
What, babes?
He wanted to come through.
Okay.
He thinks this is a bone. He thinks my wand's a bone.
A stick.
Okay, well,
Yes.
go to a Facebook. I just tagged you. See if you see me.
Bone. He thinks my wand's a bone.
Who's that scoundrel?
You're on YouTube?
Yeah, do you see me on
Curtain is
Facebook?
moved.
What?
Curtain is moved.
I know. Do you see me on Facebook?
Ollie, why are you moving the? Yeah. Why is
I'm moving it for fun.
why did Ollie move the curtain?
To get in.
For fun to get in.
No, he doesn't have to get in. Yes, scoundrel. Did you see me on Facebook? What? Did you see me on your Facebook, Mom?
Yes, I see you, but I need you to pull the curtain over so you don't.
Yeah, I'll fix that.
The microwave car.
It'll take a minute, couple seconds.
Ollie's gonna have to go back to school soon. He has to leave.
It's 12:35.
I know.
Look what Saturday did.
But he opened the DVD player. Can you shut it for me?
Yeah.
Pretty cool, huh?
Yeah. Different color than your screen.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, the red is very faded. In fact, everything looks like there's a filter on
Oh. It may be your monitor.
it. Okay, do I need to still be on?
No. Pretty cool, huh? Yeah. This kid loves himself.
I know. This screen that is so sharp.
What's that noise?
I gotta fix stuff.
How to use the Jedi pencil.
No one
Hey,
can.
listen to this. Let's see if I can find it. Here it is.
Laura didn't clean the litter box today and she has big boobies.
I heard that.
Did Mimi hear it?
No, it was too late for her to hear it.
Mimi.
Laura didn't clean the litter box today and she has big boobies.
Later, doing film. Tell me what to say, okay? Go, you gotta go back to school. soon.
Historical? Do the British accent one. I think that was funnier.
With what? I didn't do you in British, did I?
I don't know. I don't remember. That was. Let's be like.
I could do it in British.
Let me hear.
They just have to reformat it.
Buzz.
Laura didn't clean the litter box today and she has big boobies.
I like that one.
She did it again.
You like that one too?
Laura didn't clean the litter box today and she has big boobies.
Boobies.
How do you say it? Boobies?
Boobies.
Boobies.
I think the British.
That's Jim McCarthy talking.
No, it's not. That's too funny.
You're gonna have to keep an eye on my go start the Zoom meeting.
You said boobies.
They have to go back to school
I
soon.
told that him.
Oh. Well, should I put the bar collar on him?
You may have.
What? Let the man go to the bathroom, Oliver. Obliviate. Now you don't know who I am. I still know who you are, Oliver. Obliviate. You can't obliviate me. Obliviate. Obliviate. Obliviate.
Walter.
Obliviate. What?
Stop. Where'd your mom go?
I don't know. I think she went to the upstairs bathroom. Yeah.
Yeah, but Dad had the voice say, "Can you play for Rebecca?
What?
Can you play that for Rebecca?"
Listen, that litter box has to be done, so I can clean up that bathroom. Can't get the
Okay.
litter box is done. Not that one, the blue, hit the blue.
Laura didn't clean the litter box today and she has big boobies.
Boobies. I didn't hear
Okay,
it.
move her up to get ready.
Laura didn't clean the litter box today and she has big boobies.
Mom. Wait. Wait. Do it for Mom.
You have to put headphones on, okay?
Okay. Mom. What? Now?
Laura didn't clean the litter box today and she has big boobies.
This is boobies.
The sum of which.
Okay, drop it.
What are you doing? I'm just combing the nose and
Is this for your project?
Did everybody hear it? I can turn it off now?
Yes, you heard it?
Yes.
This, Rebecca.
I like the American.
Laura didn't clean the litter box today and she has big boobies.
Big boobies.
Okay.
Shut up!
You done?
Licking the butter.
Here's the American version of it.
Dad has to eat.
Laura didn't clean the litter box today and she has big boobies.
Yeah.
You were gonna eat. Fuzzy.
Here's the American version of it.
Laura didn't clean the litter box today and she has big boobies.
Fuzzy. Come back.
Law? Get his oil box in case we need it.
I'm doing that right now, Elliot.
Look, you don't have to put it on him. Unless,
You said get his litter box.
I mean his bar collar.
Well, fucking, one is not related to the other. They're not even close.
Excuse me?
I have to put it on. I can't come out. Come here, Fuzzy. Come here, Fuzzy. Sit. Sit.
Wait, are you on live right now?
No, soon.
Okay, let me just, I think I'm gonna talk about one more
Wait, will you stop with those
Ian,
pencils?
you just sharpened four of them.
He's
That was the
like,
last one I sharpened. That was the last, this is the last one I
You,
sharpened.
they don't have to be super, super long.
he's
He's OCD about the pencils too, I know.
We're not using it, are we?
hey, hon.
That's no.
I don't remember. Forget. Okay. One, two. One, two, three, 1, 2. 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 2, 2, 2, 2, 2. Pause. One, one. 1, 2. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Let me check here. One, two, three. Great. One. One, one, two, two. Good. Very nice. 1, 2. 1, 2, 1, 2.
The advisor. We make the decisions, so you don't have to.
Hey, Mo. Hello, hello, hello. Can anybody hear me? Hello.
Eliot,
Yeah,
it's Maureen.
I know. Can you hear me?
Franco, I need help. I don't know what I'm doing. I see Eliot. Hi.
Hi.
You can't see me.
No, but I could hear
How do
you.
I get on, hun?
Aren't you on?
Help me out. Technify me. I'm waving to you, Eliot.
Okay, I'm waiting to find you. You can hear me though, right? Mo, can you hear me?
Eliot.
Yes. Can you hear me? One.
Hi.
Can you hear me?
No.
You can't hear me. Okay, so I have to use this.
Yeah.
Bum, bum.
You want it ready?
Just the dog.
Okay, the litter box has been cleaned.
Did it go on too early?
Yes, it did.
Okay. Maybe I should get my phone numbers together. It really
Listen.
bothers me.
Like-
A little later. Whatever you think. Think. So I'm at the dentist. Hey, Frank, would you make me some coffee?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's good. I have an orb over here.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. Ooh, look at this. Franco,
Hey, Mark, can you hear me?
I can hear you. It's like a Grateful Dead concert.
Hi, can you guys hear me?
I hear you lowly.
No, no?
Can you hear me? Oh, I
You
should get.
can't hear me.
I can hear you
Now
though.
can you hear me?
Yeah, better.
No, I can't. Okay. Talk to me.
Hello, Elliot.
Okay, good. Hold on. I know what it is. I got it now.
I had this
You-
experience at the dentist.
Okay. Now you could hear me, right?
Yay! Perfect.
Yay, okay, yeah.
Yay,
I'm
good.
coming in on 2 channels. That's why we're getting that crazy noise. Okay, cool. So we're about ready to go. I believe we have another, did anybody else join? Let me get some, you know, we're live on YouTube and Facebook.
Oh, cool. That's great.
Yeah. So we'll, so I need you, I need you, I need you. And you. Where'd I go?
I see you, Franco.
Okay, let's see if I get a better shot here. Trio, there. Oh, I know. Okay. We'll be there in no time, I think. Yeah. Okay. So I think we're good to go. Recording. Now, if you go to, I sent you a link, I think, to the Facebook live thing.
Do I need to use a different link?
No, you're fine. You don't have to watch it. You're on already, so you're good. Now I can do. Yeah, good. Okay, cool. We're good. You spoke to Marvin?
I've heard from him, but not by
Okay.
speaking.
No,
Why?
okay, that's cool. No, I just wanted to make sure he knows about that we're on today. And
Oh, I sent him the link, and Willie and Gray.
okay, good. Good. So everybody's good to go. We have a couple
There's
of
only one
minutes.
person who I did not send it to, but
Oh,
Mark English. Was he supposed to?
I sent one to Mark.
Oh, yeah, okay. Yeah, you told me
Yeah.
just take care of regional records. So
Yeah.
I did my bit.
Yeah, I contacted Marvin and I think Gray during the week, but I didn't hear back from anybody. So now they just kind of didn't realize what it was about. But I sent one off to Mark.
Well, I was speaking to Gray by messaging, and she said, I have something on my calendar in the early afternoon. And I said, oh, is it the transatlantic call?
Yeah.
And she said, oh, I'll do that. And I said, okay.
Perfect.
I'm going with the flow.
We have to get Franco on. He knows more than anybody, probably.
Yeah, well, you know, please.
Franco is a trip.
Yeah. That's me. Okay, so that has to be.
Sit down.
And we're recording. Come over here. Come over here. Hurry up. This is the most rottenest kid in the whole world.
I was one of those. It's fun.
Say hello to everybody.
Hello. My dad used to call us rotten kids.
Big brat, that kid.
Is that I thought it was a Brooklyn thing.
Um, so what part of Jersey do you live in?
Like, I live near Princeton and Trenton, in Hamilton Square. But we're circles.
Yeah.
Yeah, and really, we hope to move.
Yeah, where do you want to go?
Well, I'd like to go to a warmer climate.
Yeah?
I
So
don't
what is
know,
that?
though. I don't know. We're really kind of comfortable here. We know the whole music scene, and
Yeah.
that's kind of nice.
Go to come to New Mexico.
What made you go to New Mexico?
They sent when I was working for the company that I was doing when I was doing the running the amphitheaters and stuff. They sent me here, and what happened was I got
Wow.
sick. I had a couple of heart attacks.
Yeah.
So they let me go, and I had to retire somewhere. So my kids were here already, and
That's it.
so I just kind of figured it'd be whatever. And then we got these grandkids that we can't get rid of.
You're lucky.
Yeah, we're not going anywhere, so that kind of
Yeah, I
thing.
think it sounds kind of nice there anyway. I mean,
It is. I mean, it's cold today, but cold here is 50. It's not 15. So.
yeah, here it's like I think it's in the 20s today. And
Yeah, I mean that's what we had early this morning. It was 20 some odd degrees when we woke up, but it's 50 now. You get a 30-degree shift in the weather usually, and then when it gets really hot, it could be 100 in the afternoon, but it'll drop to 70 at night. So it's not terrible. You get the break, and you get 4 seasons. It's just not as extreme as it is back east. And I got
yeah,
tired of I lived in Marlboro, and the snow was
you
when I
you
that
must have been
year I
my
left.
I think you were my next door neighbor.
Yeah. That year that we left Marlboro, we had those crazy snowstorms. Remember, there was
Yes.
like one year it was like
Yes.
feet and feet of snow, and
Well,
it would take me.
due to the wonders of global heating, we no longer have those kind of storms. It's only
I
snowed a couple
know.
of times, and I managed the shovel.
Yeah. Well, yeah. We you know, we lived in a townhouse, and
We did
first of all,
too.
yeah, my property taxes were like $15,000 a year, and it
That's
just
good.
yeah, it was crazy. Just
Oh, you mean in Marlboro it was like that?
yeah,
Yeah, because I was
Marlboro.
in Manalapan. I don't. It's
Yeah,
good to be out.
yeah. My sister lived in Manalapan,
Did
and
she like it?
yeah, she did. But my brother-in-law was a partner in a accounting firm in Manhattan. So he used to travel, back and forth to Manhattan every day. So it was easier to get to Manhattan by train from Long Island. The Long Island Railroad. That's what I was.
Yeah.
That's what I was used to. So I was at the Meadowlands and I was living in Manalapan, and it would, during a snowstorm it would take 4 hours to get there.
Yeah.
And then I was running. I helped set up the account at Johnson and Johnson Medical School at Rutgers.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. I set up those accounts for Aramark, and so it was like bouncing back and forth between the two properties, and you just got to the point where it was crazy. I was never home, and just time to make a move. So I became a troubleshooter for Aramark. They sent me from amphitheater to amphitheater, stadium to stadium, just kind of patching them up and making sure they were being run properly after I left the Meadowlands. And one of my stops was New Mexico. I was supposed to be here for 2 years, and then I was supposed to get out and go to California
Ooh.
and kind of stay there for a while. but it just never happened. You know, it just never happened. I had those heart problems, and I got stuck here pretty much.
Stuck
And here
inside Mobile with the Memphis
yeah,
Blues again. I am
yeah.
too.
You know, speaking of Mobile, I spent 8 months in Huntsville, Alabama, setting up an account for them.
Well, you
And
know what? The main thing is your health. Wherever you are, your health and your children and your grandchildren
yeah,
and your friends, the music
yeah.
scene. Not
Well, that's
always
the
in
whole.
that order, we might add.
That's the whole thing. I don't think I have one friend in New Mexico. You know,
I'm
all my
shocked.
friends. Yeah, I really don't have too many friends here. I have a lot of acquaintances, you know, but nobody that I consider really a close friend. Um, and it's funny because most of my friends wound up, you know, either back east or Florida, and you know, I did my time in Florida. It's brutal, you know.
Really? Why? Because that's what I was thinking about, because my parents are in Florida.
Florida's a great place to retire to. You
Right.
know, in fact, my sister that was in Mount Manalapan is in Boca now.
My
And
parents are next door in Boynton Beach.
yeah, that's the big areas there now, Boynton Beach and where's Artie? Artie's in where's Artie?
Oh, in Delray.
Delray. Yeah,
That's where
Delray.
in Delray is where my parents were like keeping an eye out for me, but I
Yeah,
really just want to do it on my own.
Delray's the place to be now. That's the hot area.
Oh,
Yeah, it really is. Delray's supposed to be the up and coming place. I have friends who moved to Delray that were living. I used to live in Coral Springs.
right. My cousin did too.
Yeah, and that got a little rough. After I left, I've been out of there for years. But I was in Florida, I don't know, less than a year ago, and I went through Coral Springs, and it kind of became Haitian, you know, because Haitian after the last hurricanes, a lot of the Haitians moved into Florida, and they wound up in Coral Springs. So you know, all the Coral Spring neighborhoods, you know, kind of got that Haitian flavor to it now. So all of the, you know, all the wandering Jews kind of, you know, moved up to different areas. So, you know, Boca was hot there for a while, and Parkland was hot, and you know, yeah, you know, Boynton, Delray, but Delray is the place to be now. They tell me.
Oh, good, because I didn't know that. I was afraid.
Yeah.
Like it sounds like the place is very inexpensive, but then you pay a high amount to live there.
Yeah, well, that's Florida. You know, that's Florida. There's no there's no tax, no employment tax, right? Yeah, I don't think
Something.
yeah, I don't think there's any I don't think there's any taxes on your earnings, but they kind of whacked you, you know, in other ways. Yeah, but Florida's not as cheap as it once was. So, you know, just be careful. New Mexico's cheap.
Yeah, but you have to remember we're coming from Jersey.
Yeah, I know. But but you know what, Florida isn't much different than Jersey anymore, I don't think.
Oh,
I mean, I don't know. I haven't really looked at land there. I'll talk to my brother-in-law. He just bought, you know, that house in you know, he moved from Dix Hills, which is a really nice neighborhood on Long Island, to Boca. But you know, I'm not sure. You know, I'm not sure. You know, what the money transfer is. When I was in Florida, it was relatively inexpensive, but you have to remember there's no work there. You know, it's hard to find a good gig there, and if you want to
yeah.
if you want to stay in music, you know, then you're really gonna have to do your work over the internet. You know, that kind of thing.
I feel like that's how I do it from New Jersey. I mean, maybe because of COVID being so long, but even before that, I was doing it over the internet, but then I'd schmooze at the events.
Right. Well, there's no events in Florida, so to speak. You know, Miami still has a pretty you know, I don't know about with COVID going on, but they did have a pretty good um, music scene, but it was more of a dance thing, you know. It was more of a Latin music, more of a, you know, just that kind of a thing going on. And the older guys, you know, the guys my age used to listen to kind of like rock and stuff. you know, Artie's people, they're far and few between now. There's no acts. You have one or two little, I think you had the Sunshine Theater in Miami, and maybe one or two other little places that are doing any kind of like rock type music. So, you know,
Uh,
just
Maybe it'll
remember that.
change. By the time we get there, we'll have to change it over.
I know.
Or
But
maybe,
if,
maybe we'll stay here. We don't know.
yeah. I like Jersey. I like living there. But you know, it is hard getting into Manhattan from Jersey. It wasn't easy.
No, it's not bad because we have a great train station right by the house. And we used to just hop on and it was like straight
Yeah.
to Penn Station, you know?
Well, that's good. I used to have to take the bus.
No, that's bad.
Yeah, the bus was a nightmare. And
The bus is a nightmare and they don't even let you talk on it. You can only,
yeah,
I don't know,
yeah,
you
parking
get in
was
trouble.
tough. Everything was kind of tough. Oh, okay, we got some people coming on. Okay, Phil Rambo is on with us. And Shmuley.
Hello.
Okay. Cool. Monty. Zoot.
I can't see them though.
Everybody's coming on. It'll take a minute.
Hello.
Philip.
Yeah.
Good
Can you hear me?
I could hear you.
Good. I can't see me. I can
Yeah,
see you.
I see Monty. Hey, Mont.
I feel you.
Hey, Elliot.
Let's see. Who do we have here now? I can't see you, Philip. You must have something turned off on your end.
I need share screen.
No, not share. You don't want to go to share screen.
No, hold on.
You want to go
My
to the
start
left.
video was off.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
on the left.
Okay,
It
I'll
should be
introduce-
going. There it is.
There
Yeah.
you go.
Oh.
Okay, now let me introduce everybody who's on with us so far. Philip Rambo. Philip had a band in the day called the Winkies. The Winkies were Eno's backup band when Eno left Roxy. And then Phil went on to do his own thing. He has a couple of great albums. One of my top 10 favorite songs of all time is Mr. Rambo's tune, Fallen. It's a beautiful tune. It's a great, Monty, do you know that song? No? Okay, you have to check it out. Okay,
Oh, absolutely, check it out.
Yeah, so we have Monty, wait, where'd you go, Mont? Monty Trimino is here with us. Monty works with Bill Laswell. He's part of that MOD Reloaded label, which is a great experimental label. They do some great music. Monty just did a beautiful album. And even better than that, he has a newborn in the house.
Ah, yay, congratulations.
Thank you. 6 weeks old today.
I did Chimino.
Another little Chimino.
Yeah.
Great.
So
Thank you.
So Philip is a Canadian who lives in the UK, and he's been in the music world for many years, and some beautiful music. He's written some big hits for some UK artists, and he'll tell us about that. I'm waiting for George Money to get on. He's trying to get on with us now. You guys know who George is? You guys know him as Zoot Money.
Oh, right. Okay, good.
Yeah.
Yeah, everybody. I think everybody knows.
Yeah.
Zoot Money.
Yeah, so Zoot's coming on. He's here
Is
with
he gonna
us.
wear a hat? Because otherwise, if he was wearing a hat, I'll go and get mine.
So now we have John Altman coming in, Jim McCarthy, and David Jackson. Phil, do you know David Jackson from Van de Graaff? Do you remember Van de Graaff Generator?
I know the band, but I
Okay. So, Mr. John Altman.
There's two John Altmans.
Yes. This is the John Altman. Don't tell me about two John Altmans. We got the John Altman. And who else is with us now? Wow. Very nice. Okay, David Jackson's with us. Dave?
Oh, I don't know.
Welcome.
I don't know what to do.
Okay. Don't worry, we'll get you going. Jim? Okay, there's Zoot.
Hi. There's it connecting to audio. We can see
Yeah,
him.
I see him.
I see. I don't hear. I see.
Yeah. Hey, John, how you doing?
Good.
Yeah, good to see you.
Where are you, John?
I'm in Essex.
Oh, right. Cool.
You see those albums behind?
There's a John Altman who was a friend of mine who was in EastEnders for a few years.
Yeah,
Oh.
mine as well.
Your namesake.
Yes. When we go out to dinner when we used to go out to dinner, we present two credit cards, and they said, "Well, you only need to give one." Because they both went out.
I'm sure he always got you to pick up the tab.
No.
Okay, so who's here? Who did I just see? Zoot popped up. David Jackson. Okay. I hear music.
It's happening.
Oh, there he is, the Zootster. Okay, so I'm gonna do a quick run. I'm gonna do a quick run through again. Oh, Alan Gower. What a show off! What a show off! Okay, I'm starting from the beginning. We have Mo Pietoso on. It says Franco, but it's Maureen. That's Mo, and Mo does record promotions, and she's working for a couple of new labels. Anyway, we'll get back to Mo in a minute. We have Monty Tremino on. Monty works with Bill Laswell, and Bill produced his last album, and we'll talk about that. Then we have Mr. Alan Gower from New Jersey. Alan doesn't live that far from you.
Oh, really?
Hey, Shmuel, are you still with us?
Yes.
There's a Shmuel right there with nothing happening. No audio, no video.
Jim McCarthy's here. Jim wrote the book on Latin music, on Latin rock. I don't know why he's here. His name's here, but I can't see him. There's me, and then we have Philip Rambeau. Phil was in the band The Winkies. He's done a lot more solo stuff than he did with The Winkies. Some great music. He's written stuff for some great artists. John Altman, no introduction needed. He's done everything with everybody. Zoot Money, who's a scoundrel. Okay, we got Zoot. Everybody knows Zoot Money. He's one of the legends. We spoke about Monty. David Jackson from Van de Graaff Generator. You guys remember Van de Graaff?
Oh, yeah.
Of course. Great band.
I think I saw them on a machine.
Yeah, Peter Hamill.
Did I tell you a machine that does all that sort of an actual Van de Graaff thing? I actually had one.
Yeah. Well, Van de Graaff was Peter Hamill was in that band with David. David's one of the greatest horn players I've ever heard. He's incredible. Okay, Jeff Traeger just entered the room. Jeff is a promoter from San Francisco. He helped start Gem Records, not Gem Records, Tower Records. He used to promote Sly, and he promoted guys like Ray Charles, and all the whole San Francisco thing went through Jeff's group. We have Mark English on. Mark is one of the Gem Records people. Maureen could tell us more about Mark. He's in a band called the Golden Needles. He's in the UK as well.
Yes. The Golden
Okay, there's
Needles,
Jeffrey.
album coming out.
Hey, Jeff.
Don't tell me Jeff Traeger's here.
Yes.
Jeffrey!
Jim, how come I can't see you?
I don't know, man. Let me just see if I've not joined the meeting correctly. 1 second, please.
Yeah, Jim's an author.
This newfangled technology, man, is doing my mind in.
Me too.
Okay, I just want everybody to know that Jim's a good buddy of mine. He couldn't make the last meeting. He was a little under the weather. He wasn't feeling too well. He had some.
Can we hear a big R?
Yeah.
Hello, Eliot.
Oh, thank you very much.
Okay.
Thank you so much.
Mr. Mark English from the Golden Needles. Hi, Mark.
Jeff Traeger.
There he is. Okay, I want everybody to meet David Jackson. Okay, David is a, oh, wait,
Any
wait, wait,
relation?
Yes.
Any relation to Michael, no?
Hello, Michael.
Hey,
Yeah, that's
Michael Jackson, man.
Okay, Todd Cochran entered the room. Todd,
Hey, right
Tom,
on.
yes, Tom is an incredible jazz keyboard player. He was in the band Automatic Man with Pat Thrall and Michael Shreve.
My favorite, one of my favorite bands, Jeff.
Yes.
Hello,
Todd,
Jimmy. Hello, Jimmy.
Jeffrito, my brother, how are you, man?
Hey, Todd. Okay, so
Todd, Todd Cochran. Your microphone's on mute.
Yes,
you gotta
Todd.
unmute your microphone.
Where's Todd?
Can
you do a double line? I can
Todd's
see.
got the best background.
Yeah, Todd's actually.
I see you now.
Yeah.
Yes.
Very cool. I don't know how to do that. That's
Oh.
okay.
So,
Fancy.
wow, man.
Hey, look at that.
Yeah, well.
Well, I'm really
I
outside.
figured. What's up, Todd?
How are you doing, man?
Okay, my friend. Okay, so listen. Let me. Oh, wait. Williams. Who's this? Oh, here's Marvin, and here's Willie.
Marvin. Oh, yay.
All right.
Oh, good.
Okay, so these guys are joining. Marvin Etziani was in Lone Justice. Remember the band Lone Justice?
Sure.
And he's been involved in a new record label that he just put together with yeah, so Marvin kind of I'll give you a quick rundown on Marvin. He's put out a great album, incredible album, and a great single. And Willie, it says Williams iPhone. Him and Willie are in a band called the Holy Brothers.
Wow.
And the Holy Brothers got their name. They used to go to temple together, and the rabbi gave them their name. And that's the same temple that Leonard Cohen went to. And, you know, so.
In Montreal.
No, in San Francisco. This is when he was not California, not San Francisco. Todd Cochran, an incredible keyboard player. If you guys, you remember Automatic Man?
Yes.
Yeah.
I remember them. I saw them in London in 1976, brother.
All right.
Jim.
All right, Jim.
Things I've ever seen. One of the best things I've ever seen.
Yeah, well.
You know what? I love your hat, man, Jim. Let's work it.
Huh? I love your background. I love you, and I love your background. How did you get that beautiful background, man? That's great.
Oh, you know what? I'm
sophisticated.
Photography is a hobby of mine. And this, you know what I tell you? I'll tell you where I took this picture. This was in Cleveland, and I was at my wife and I had spent 1 of 2 days at the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. So this is right at the riverfront.
Wow.
Fantastic.
You know, photography is a hobby of mine too. That's where I got my nickname. Hey, you behind the bushes.
Oh yeah, oh, get out of here. Yeah. Well, it keeps going, you know, and you'd be surprised the number of people who have kind of found another way to be expressive and to capture experiences, through
Todd.
Yes.
Todd, and Eliot's name before he changed it was P. Tom.
Yeah. Yeah. So let me do an intro. I don't think anybody else.
Mr. English.
Hi, Eliot. Can you hear me?
I could hear everybody. Yes. Can everybody hear you?
Can you hear me, Eliot? Yeah.
Yes.
Elliot, can you get all the people on the frame? I'm only getting 6 people up to Mr. English.
You have to go to the top where it says view.
Okay.
Top right.
Yeah, and you'll change your grid. Yes.
Okay, man. That's great.
Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Okay. So let me fill everybody in one last time. I don't think anybody's going.
Man. Look at all these people.
We may have another person, I think.
Well, I'm waiting for William. William's iPhone is on, but I could do a run through. And Mo, you're gonna have to help me, okay? But I'm gonna go through the people. Let me go through where it says Franco. That's really Mo. That's Maureen Fiatoso.
If you call me Franco, I'll still answer.
Yeah, and Maureen.
Not the dictator.
Maureen is a promotion person, and she helped me out a lot today. She helped me out with everything. let's see, Monty works with Bill Laswell. He's part of the MOD Reloaded label. He's put out a new album on that label. He did an interview with me a couple of weeks ago. Phil Rambeau. Philip worked with Brian Eno when he was in the band The Winkies, but he's in a hell of a lot more as a solo artist. And Phil, who have you written for? Christy?
I wrote with Kirsty McCall and co-wrote There's a Guy Works Down the Chip Shops, where I was with her.
Really fantastic.
Yeah, and if you ever want to hear one of the greatest rock pop tunes, check out Phil's tune "Fallen." It's a great.
I was on my first solo album, and there's two versions of it. There's a poppy version, which is on the album, and then there was a demo that I did with Mick Ronson, who joined my band.
And just so I could get you guys caught up.
Yeah.
And also, I thought since everybody's got a hat, wearing a hat, I thought I'd better get my hat because my head's a bit cold.
It's good.
No, it's
I tell you, I hate to even say it. We're experiencing a bit of California cold in Los Angeles. You know.
Okay. Well,
not your level, Monte. Like, see, that's like, you know.
Okay.
Yeah, it's like my wife see that. You know, she's been talking. My wife and son have been talking about let's go to Antarctica. You know, this is so beautiful. Really, no, I'm telling you the truth. We were talking about it last week. You know.
Okay, so John Altman, producer, director, arranger. Everybody knows John. My favorite story about John is that he played horns. Jimi Hendrix was on bass, and Jimi Hendrix on bass, and Peter Green was the lead guitar player.
Oh no!
So, man, what I want to do for a tape of that? David Jackson, Van de Graaff.
Sorry, I missed it. I broke up. Who's the lead guitar player?
Peter Green.
Oh my God,
that's a hell of a band.
Okay, so David Jackson, Van de Graaff, horn player. He's the guy that gave Van de Graaff their sound.
Davey Jackson.
Yes, Dave Jackson.
Yeah, he played on the Bridges album, first album.
Yes, and he also backed. Yes, he also backed Peter Gabriel on.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Yep. George Money, Zoot. You guys know him as Zoot Money.
Zoot Money, I remember him. Zoot Money
and
from years ago,
his picture could be found in any post office, right? Zoot.
Looking for money.
Mr. Alan Gala. Alan had a couple of local bands in Jersey that were really close to breaking through. He's done TV things. His hardest gig was teaching me how to play guitar. I'm a keyboard player. And Alan was, I used to meet with Alan on Tuesday nights in New Jersey on Route 9, Mo, and we would.
The Guitar Center?
Well, no, it was.
Musicians Workshop.
My son went there too.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
There's a big bug.
Then we have Jim McCarthy, who's known for his hats. And
yes, I make hats.
Jim is an author. I met Jim through the Latin rock scene with my buddy Michael Shreve and all those guys. Jim did a great book on those guys, and he just.
So you make hats, Jim?
No, that's nice, really ridiculous British humor, Todd.
Oh, I see.
We call it irony over here, but I don't know if it works or not.
Okay, then we have Jeff Traeger. Jeff Traeger is known
where
for
are you going, man?
Jeff's known for being Bill Perazzo's friend. That's all he's ever done.
Yeah, that's all he's ever done, isn't it, Eliot?
Jeff's on a road trip. I thought he just parked up and he's taking off now.
I'm on the road.
Jack Kerouac fantasy.
I met Jeff through Jim. And Jeff is still doing promotions. He still does live shows. He did one just the other night. He'll tell us about that. And Jeff helped that whole Tower Records thing start. Him and Bill Perazzo and Solomon. Todd Cochran, you guys may know him as Bayete. He is an incredible.
Yes.
Yes, this man has worked with Bill Withers. He's worked with Quincy.
You know James Gatson, Todd?
Yes.
Yeah, I'm friends with James.
Yeah, James is out here, and yes.
Can I just say it too?
It's been an adventure. It continues. yeah.
Can I say to Todd?
Yes.
You won't remember me, but I met you with Jerome Rimson in London in the 70s.
Oh boy.
Wow.
Right. Okay.
Jerome and I were with Morrison.
With what? Wait a minute. I didn't hear finish. I just didn't hear the end of what you said, John.
Jerome and I were with Van Morrison.
Right. Okay.
At that time.
Right.
Okay.
Right.
Can I dive in there?
And you know, Jerome is in. He's in Ireland.
He lives in Dublin. Yeah.
Dublin. Yeah.
Oh, was he in Dublin? I thought he was in Cork.
Yeah, for a long time.
Yeah, my fault.
Yeah.
My first solo single. Can I just dive in on that?
Reacquaint with you, man. I mean, I lived in London for the better part of 4 years.
Yeah.
Okay. So then we have
just
Marvin.
wanted to say, just to pick up on that, John.
You worked a real thing, didn't you?
My first solo single had
Wait a
JR.
Wait. We officially formal.
And Peter Van Hook on drums.
I spoke to Pete last night.
Whoa. John.
Rita, really?
Okay.
Last night.
I'm up to Marvin Etziani. Marvin is the man who owns Regional Records, and Marvin just put out a great album. He'll tell us about it. He's an incredible writer, singer. His new album is pretty. The first time I heard the album, I thought it was by a guy in the 20s, maybe 30s, and it just has that power to it that a lot of records these days don't have. But we'll talk about that. Now, William's iPhone is actually Billy Rankin. And if you guys know Billy, does anybody know Billy Rankin by name? You know Billy. Billy was the drummer in Brinsley Schwartz.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
That was with Nick Lowe's band, right?
That was Nick's band.
Yeah.
Nick was in that band, and I've been trying to get a hold of Ian. I can't get Ian on the phone for some reason, Ian Gum. And I spoke to Bob Andrews. He was trying to get on the line today. But, Billy will tell us about that. Next to Billy on my thing anyway is in the Marsha Brady spot, we have Mark English. Mark's from a band called the Golden Needles. They have an album coming out in a couple of weeks on Gem Records, if you guys remember the Gem label.
Yeah.
And Mark's in the UK as well. And then Shmuel.
Mark, where are you based?
Hull in East Yorkshire.
Hull. I've been there,
Hull, East Yorkshire, up in the northeast.
Yeah.
Say again.
Yeah, I've been there.
Yeah, and Mark.
Great bridge.
Yeah, great bridge. In fact, I think Phil mentioned Mick Ronson earlier, and Mick's from. The Spiders were all from Hull.
Right.
And
I met David Visconti recently, and I met Woody Woodmansey. They were doing a sort of Bowie thing going on, like
Holy Holy, it's called. They have Glenn Gregory from Heaven 17 singing. I think they have. I think they have Mick Ronson's 2 daughters in the band as well. They're very good.
Hold on, guys. Phil Rambo played in Holy Holy.
I did.
Did you really?
Did you?
Yes. There were a few incarnations, and my great friend Malcolm Doherty was singing before Glenn Gregory.
Yeah.
And they got me in because I was playing support for them. I did a support slot, but I play acoustic guitar. So they wanted me in the band to play acoustic guitar, which was fun because I had to learn a bunch of David Bowie songs that I'd never done before. So when we started out that tour in 2014, I didn't last very long though, because the stages we were on were really small. And a couple of nights I was standing in front of the lead guitar player, Paul Cuttaford, who's now my producer. But we were just getting to know each other. And he just went, you know what? You're cutting off all my moves. There's not enough room. I don't think we really need you to play. Malcolm can play a bit of acoustic guitar. I was like, that's fine, because it's a bit of a thing to go through and learn, 25 David Bowie songs. So I happily demurred and just concentrated on playing support. But that was a great tour, and I was on it for most of England.
Yeah,
Eliot and I are friendly with Jessica Morgan, who's Tony's daughter, and she's a really good singer songwriter. She's a lovely person. We did a podcast with her about 2 months ago or something.
I've been trying to get her on this thing with us, but she shies away every time.
No, she's gone off you, Elliot, after that podcast.
Yeah. So
joke.
I know. So Zoot Money too was thrown off of a couple of tours for dance moves. Weren't you, Zoot? Zoot?
Yeah. What?
Sorry,
I was just nodding off there for a little while.
I know. What are you drinking?
Because it is just too much like bandroom talk for me.
I know. Okay, so let me go back to Todd. I didn't really get into Todd's thing. Todd was an automatic man with Michael Shreve, of course, and Pat Thrall, and Donnie Harvey, and you also worked with the second drummer after Michael left.
Glenn Simmons,
Glenn Simmons, who was supposed to do a podcast with me, but punked out. He'll be doing one though. We'll get him back. So that's it. Everybody knows everybody now. Monty's with Boswell.
One. David's son. I just worked with him a few weeks ago at Air Studios.
Ah, yeah, right. David. That's right. David Jackson's son was taught by George Martin. He was a Martin prodigy, right?
I scored and conducted some of the new Bond film with him.
Yeah.
With Hans Zimmer.
It was probably mixed in this studio because I'm having to. This is my studio, but he's got nowhere to live at the moment, so he's.
Right.
In the studio. I've kicked him out for this evening. One night only.
Well, do give him my regards.
John.
Yeah. So.
Air is pretty much like a film place now, isn't it? I mean,
it's one of the only
pretty much a scoring. Yeah. Uh-huh.
It's one of the only studios left for a largish orchestra.
Right. Yeah.
They've all gone.
John,
yeah, because I recorded it years ago. Yeah.
John, can I ask you a question about Air? There was a big hoo-ha for years about the fact that some rich people next door were wanted to excavate and dig a
basement.
Yeah. What happened to that?
Luckily that went away. Now, of course, you know the big studios. Angel just went under.
Really?
They can't work, so they're going. You know, I'm hoping Air started recording again, and Abbey Road as well, but much smaller lineups. You know, so everyone has to be distanced and
The interesting studio that I encountered recently, in fact, with Tony Visconti. He invited me along to a session for an album to do hand claps.
Yeah, sure.
That's the gig I love.
It wasn't a big gig, but at least I learned his secret, one of his mic positioning secrets. But there was that British Grove.
It's a good studio. Mark Knopfler's place.
Exactly, and it's kind of Mark Knopfler has his own studio that nobody can use, and then one is for the public. Well, not any public, but the Rolling Stones recorded their blues album there a couple of years ago. It's an amazing place, but it's an indicator of the fact that a studio like that is, has to be supported by somebody as wealthy, and benefactor like Mark Knopfler. Couldn't make its, couldn't wash its face.
Otherwise. I spoke to David a few weeks ago. I spoke to David Knopfler a few weeks ago.
Who?
And he was telling Knopfler, Mark's brother.
Oh, sorry. Okay.
Yeah. He told me he was trying to do something with Mark again, but Mark's kind of cold to the whole idea. He's just pretty much doing solo
They've
stuff.
never really got on.
No, they never did. No.
They were like the Kinks. They were like the Davies brothers.
Yeah.
Gallagher.
And Billy, here's the story that Ian told me. Ian Gom told me this story. Ian opened for Dire Straits when he was on Stiff Records, the Ian Gom band, and Ian was having trouble sleeping, so he asked the Dire Straits road manager. They were just talking one night, and he said, "Man, I don't know what the hell's going on here. I can't sleep." So the Dire Straits tour manager said, "Well, come keep an eye on my band. You'll be asleep in 10 minutes."
Natural.
Yeah, that's an Ian Gom story. So anyway, yeah. So Marvin, you haven't said much today. Marvin's going to tell you about his new label. He started this label.
Be careful. Be careful. Hold on. Be careful, Marvin. If you start to talk about a new label, you might get people sending you demos.
Oh, no. I'm not asking for nothing. I was just reading this article about Brian Eno because he had just turned 72. And he's just talking about, how incredible he thinks Zoom is because he gets to meet with people that under normal circumstances, these people, he would never meet with these people all at the same time from all parts of the world. So
right.
I'm just kind of bringing the sentiment that I read about Brian Eno, that the chances of all of us meeting at one time in one room in this moment,
amazing, isn't it?
are like next to zero. And here we are. And so I think it's really great. I look forward to hearing more stories from you guys. I'd like to hear about the Mick Ronson demo, and I'd like to hear about what it was like working with Brian Eno.
I want to hear about the Flamingo Club from Monsoon Money.
Well, look who you got in the room today. Look who's in the Zoom session today, okay? And before we start, if you notice, there's two of me up there, right? And the reason why I do that is because I don't know which my better side is. My Rock Hudson,
your back side.
It's either my Rock Hudson side or my Shirley Temple side. I don't know, so I put them both up there, and we'll vote on it later. But anyway, yeah. So let's get going. So we're in the midst of this COVID thing, and what do you think is going to happen? What's the future? What do you think the future is going to be like?
I was just going to say, I spoke to a friend of mine, a drummer in Australia.
Yeah.
And he was telling me that in Australia, they completely beat it. He's on the 14-day, he lived in New York, went to Australia, and then he's on the 14-day quarantine. And then once he's done, which is in a couple days, he's free to go because Australia went into heavy lockdown. They fought it. If they have like 2 or 3 cases, it's a disaster, and they shut that area down again. So he said Australia is way ahead of the curve.
I think they're just about to do that in England.
Yeah, that's what I hear.
Yeah.
My
wife works at a hospital here.
You think it'll be a complete shutdown in England?
Well, you get the 2 weeks quarantine.
Right.
Oh yeah.
Well, you got to have a jab. You got to have a jab before you even get on the plane.
Yeah,
and
right.
Then a test. And then you got to have a test when you land, and then 2 weeks quarantine. If you want to go through all that crap, it's up to you.
Right. Yeah.
But it's starting to get better here.
If we're talking about COVID, I've got some news that I'd like to know if anybody else in the same situation. My wife and I got the vaccine today.
Oh, you lucky.
Pfizer.
That's great.
Yeah.
And where are you that you got that?
I'm currently living in Whitstable. It was just an anomaly. We used to live in South London, and St George's Hospital.
I live in Tunbridge Wells.
Huh?
I live in Tunbridge Wells.
Ah, right. Well, you're just down the road. But my wife got right out of the blue, because we don't live there anymore. She got a text a couple of weeks ago saying she could come in and have a test because I think she'd been there for some other things. They didn't send it to me. I'm a little bit older than her. And we went, she got hers, and we went away from the hospital. And then my son said, why don't you just go back and say that you're married and you can get it? And the thing is that the place was pretty empty,
Yeah.
But that's a real positive. Yeah. The only one I can think of living in England, run by a mini Trump who does everything, over promises and underperforms on everything, including the lockdowns. They should have done it. The thing about Australia and New Zealand, my wife is from New Zealand, is that as soon as there was an emergency, as soon as there was a pandemic, or a potential pandemic, they just put a plan into action and said, you can't fly in.
That's
right. People are flying in and out of England.
Yeah,
without anything.
It's a lot easier with 3 million, 4 million people.
You're talking New
then
Zealand.
had
New
been-
Zealand's 5 million people.
That's true.
Yeah, 5 million. Australia's about
Yeah.
12 or something,
Right.
isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. And then we have the same here with Scotland. Everyone's saying how well they're doing, but it's only 5 million people here. But 60 million live in London, in England, and it's a major hub for travel and business and God knows what. I mean, really we should be good, but because we're an island, but because we're such a major hub for everything.
Well overcrowded.
It just comes in from everywhere.
Well, Todd, Jeff, we're in trouble here, right? Alan,
They don't
Monty,
have a plan here. They don't do that here.
Marvin, we're up the creek here. Nobody's Mo. Nobody's. I actually I contacted the health service here, and I said, hey guys, I'm I had 2 heart attacks. Blah 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 blah. Well, you're not. Well, Mr. Goldstein was sorry, but you're not eligible yet. So that's
what? The vaccine, you mean?
Yeah, for the vaccine.
Okay.
But so it's pretty crazy. Now, not only that, we got the new president last week. We have a new president, and Todd, we were we were texting what a nightmare was prior to getting.
We with the president.
We've been texting for months.
Yeah. Todd and myself kind of we're scared shitless, right, Todd?
I'm not feeling that now. I think there's
no.
I think there's I think it's too dual faceted right now. I mean, there's hope, but then there are these the impediments.
Right.
You see, I think that hope will always outweigh that, because I think hope is more creative than what we would identify as an impediment, and I think that's what we certainly need to be in touch with as intimately as possible as creatives, is that dimension that is inspirational and that is forward thinking, and that thing that people can actually see themselves as a part of. And so I think it's a fascinating time for us. I think not just as creative artists, but I think as thinkers who are impactful with the things with the ideas that we release. And so we have a responsibility. We have a responsibility in the uniqueness of what everyone here is putting forth. We do have a core shared responsibility.
Bravo.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah. Todd's right, but it's just getting us to that point. Now, Marvin is for lack of a better way of putting it, Marvin's definitely an optimist. He's 100% optimist, right, Marv?
Right. Yeah. I put out an album. This is not a self-promotion.
Yes, it is. We're all going to be talking about it.
Yeah, in terms of optimism.
Is this a new record? Is it a new release?
Yeah.
Yes.
So I put out an album right before the election that I've been working on for about 20 years.
Oh boy.
A political record.
Oh wow.
And I said I have to put this out before the election because it's like one of the key songs is Here Comes America, the one we've been waiting for. So there's an optimism to the record.
That's beautiful.
And so when I put it out, I didn't want to wait till after the election because, what if Trump won? You know what I mean? It was, but so I took the chance of putting out the record and said, I just got to go for it. People were asking me, like, I said, I'm just rolling the dice with this thing. It's just, and so I look at what's going on in the world very optimistically, even though we're living through very tragic times. I mean, the numbers in Los Angeles, California, where I am.
Absolutely.
You're
in
really
LA
high.
too? You're in LA too, Mark?
Yeah.
Okay.
Really high. And it's not getting better. We're on,
the
problem with
guys
California
locked up, are you?
is that the lockdowns were inconsistent. You can go from one. I'll share this quick story with you guys. a few months ago, I went to a restaurant in San Bernardino, and there was two women in there who were not wearing a face mask.
Oh, no.
And I said, excuse me, would you mind wearing a mask? Because it was just me at the counter and then a few people behind me. And they go, what are you, a communist?
Oh, boy.
That's a quote. And I said, no, I said, people are dying. So I got the food, I went out. You know what I mean? So this is the kind of mentality. It's not the only time that's happened where people are really on edge and they really.
I can't hear you.
Marvin's gone
We,
sound-wise.
we lost your audio.
Marvin, you're on mute again. You're for somehow or other.
Mute. I didn't touch a thing. Okay, here we are. Anyway, so they're real followers of this fanatical point of view. So I was optimistic about the election. I was actually optimistic to tell people that Georgia was going to turn blue. People go, oh, you're crazy. That'll never happen. You know, Georgia is a red state. Forget it. And then it turned blue. Yeah. So I think there's a bigger play at hand, a bigger hand at play.
Yeah.
In all of this. It's just going to take it's going to take people like us to just come together and be extremely patient and very, very smart and just remind each other that we're going to get through this. I'd like to see us get together more often. And in a year from now, we'll do this. In 2 years from now, we can laugh about this moment, but it's not funny. But we have to. So I'm 100% optimistic, but I'm not silly enough to believe, well, there's nothing going on. I don't believe that. I know people, you know, in England, you know, a friend of mine's a mastering engineer at Abbey Road, and it's like, it's not good, folks. In LA, New York, people are struggling all over the country, many parts of it. This is real stuff, but I like to approach, it makes sense for me, the way that I look at things in the world and the music that I like to put out, the songs that I write, that there's a sense of hope and optimism. Like Todd was mentioning the word hope, I really connected to that. Oh, by the way, Todd, the album is called What's the Mood of the Country Now?
Okay.
And it's available on any digital platform. And then I have a new single out called Love Letter to Democracy. That's not on the album.
And it's called What's the Mood of the Country Now?
Country Now. Yeah. And then there's a standalone single and video called Love Letter to Democracy.
Oh,
and
great.
Then there's another track I put out. I'm part of a duo called the Holy Brothers. And we put out a standalone single. You might find this of interest. We just put it out. It's called Lift You Up, and it features a friend of ours, this guy Stefan Ferguson, and he reads the lyric, part of the lyric, as the voice of Martin Luther King Jr. And it sounds just like him. It's
what is the name? And this is a video as well.
Yeah, video. Yeah, Lift You Up by the Holy Brothers. So that is the tone and the point of view. That doesn't mean there aren't sad songs along the way and all of that. I'm just saying that generally, Eliot's right that, you know, I think he was almost shocked when we first met on the phone and then Zoom of my complete optimism, you know, about everything. But he still said it's okay to be his friend, even though I believe that. So it's okay.
You old hippie.
We're all
okay. So Marvin, that's your new album. Monty has a new album now too, and Monty's album's a little different. It's on the MOD, which is the Method of Defiance label. MOD Reloaded, which is Bill Laswell's label. Todd, you know Bill. And you know, I've been doing a Monday night show with Bill, a bi-monthly show. So Monty was one of my guests, and his album's incredible. Monty, tell us about that one. Are you music?
Yeah. So I met Bill in Los Angeles. I think in 2015 he was playing a show at UCLA, and I was staying with the guitarist Carl Verheyen. He's a LA studio musician. Sort of related to him via family. Great guy, amazing guitar player. So I crashed at his place.
He's played on some of my movie soundtracks, Carl.
Oh, has he?
Oh, yes. Okay.
Yeah, he's one of those guys that everyone's heard, even if you don't know it. You know, he's been on everything. And so he was kind enough to let me stay at his place so I could go to the show. And I introduced myself to Bill. I'm a fan more than anything else.
Mm-hmm.
And over the course of 5 years, we struck up a friendship. So I got the confidence to ask him if he wanted to contribute to a song. And I neglected to tell him the song was 40 minutes long. I was telling Eliot.
That was the edited version.
But for Bill, 40 minutes is a single.
The single.
Yeah.
Well, you know, and 2 kids later, you know, I have a full-time job. I get a little forgetful occasionally. So Bill was very nice about it. And he did a 40-minute bass track for this song. It's ambient music, very textural stuff. We took the 40-minute version and we condensed it to 25 minutes. The thing about the record that I think makes it slightly different than some other ambient music is I incorporate violins with it. So there's this chamber music element to the drones and the analog synths that are on it. And then Bill also did what Bill does better than anyone, is he took some of the source tracks and made an amazing dub piece to go along with the record.
Yeah.
So it's a really beautiful story that is both textural and ambient, but also has beats. It's got Bill's bass playing. So we're really proud of it. I self-released it almost 2 years ago.
Right.
And then when Bill got his label up and running again, we decided to put it out on his MOD label. So the CD is going to be available in February with a record coming hopefully by the end of the year. So
What's it called again?
It's called Dark Matter Halo with Bill Laswell.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Gotcha.
And yeah, and if anybody wants to find out about any of this stuff, just give me a holler. I have contacts with all you guys, obviously.
Okay.
Now, Monty, you turn me on to Monty.
So you live? Do you live in? Are you in this San Francisco Bay Area?
Yeah, I'm in Sonoma County.
Sonoma. Okay.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Okay. Now, Monty, you turn me on to it.
To it too. Great cover artwork. Beautiful.
Oh, thank you.
Really kind of crisp and mysterious. That kind of purple.
Thank you. Yeah, that was Bill's partner Yoko. She did the artwork, and her and I have become very good friends.
Yeah, Yoko's a doll. She's incredible.
She's the best, man. Yeah.
So now, Monty, you turn me on to an ambient string player that the night we were talking.
Oh yeah, David Darling.
He died, right? A week or two
yes,
ago.
like that night or the day
the
before
next
or
day.
something. Wasn't that strange?
It was really weird. Because what I did was I got all his music. I bought his music that night.
Oh, cool.
And then I was listening to it the next day, and boom, it popped up. I said, "No, this is like just too weird."
Yeah, that was a weird coincidence. I mean, his cello playing has had a huge impact on me musically. Right. Huge fan of his records, stuff he done on ECM. I haven't heard much of his newer stuff. But his ECM
it's
stuff.
great. Yeah, I'll send you some stuff. Anyway,
thank you.
Great. Gray just entered the room. Hello, Gray.
Yes.
I was on the wrong link. I'm doing this other thing, and I was waiting in their waiting room forever, thinking it was this. And anyway, I was texting Maureen, going, "Am I in the right place?"
Well, here you are. So.
I'm so glad you came in. Thank you so much.
Now, Gray. Now I'll hook you guys up. If it's like bingo, Gray works with Marvin and Mo, so that's her hookup. She's a vocalist. She's a musician. Plus, she's a voice actress. She's on like millions of cartoons. Give us a Simpson. Give us a Simpson hit.
Well, I don't want to have Bart's baby.
Martin, the little Martin Prince. Yeah.
Yep. So so it's getting better and better. So Gray's incredible. She's a sweetheart, very talented performer and artist, and I got to start saying. I have to stop saying sweetheart. I'll be getting one of those #MeToos.
No, no, please. I'm in my 40s, so I'm grateful for any harassment.
Okay, good. Yeah. Yeah. So now I got Shmuley here. He's with us, but I don't know where he is. Like
I was wondering what that was. What is Shmuley?
Yeah, are you with us, Shmuel? Shmuel's a new friend of mine. He does a lot of promoting in the Eastern Bloc in Europe, I think. I'm not sure exactly, but I thought he'd be involved with us a little more today.
Hey, I just wanted to, Elliot, while you're looking around for Shmuel, a friend of mine just released a two singles, and Monty, you might really like it. It's really unique ambient stuff. I've never really heard anything like it. It's done by my friend Doug Wieselman. I don't know if any of you know Dougie, but Dougie's a harp player. He's in New York. He's played with Lou Reed, Yoko, Hal Wilner, all sorts of folks. He's amazing. And you can find the two singles under his name, Doug Wieselman, on Bandcamp. Anyway,
okay.
I have nothing to do with it, but I'm just happy to let people know about it.
Marvin, what was it called again?
What's that?
What was it called again?
His name is Doug Wieselman. I think it's Wieselman. I'm telling you, man, this stuff is really trippy.
Thank you. I'll check it out.
If you ever need a horn player, arranger,
well,
he's
let me tell you what I'm doing.
Oh,
Todd,
okay.
Todd, Marvin, tell your buddy, Monty.
Yeah, and Monty, you know, Eliot has my info, so if you can't find it, I'll send it. I'll send you the link.
David,
thank you, Marvin.
John,
yeah.
Whoever's listening, I'm doing this show with Bill Laswell, and it's a bi-weekly show. So what I'm doing in between, I'm actually started doing it every Monday night. I've been doing an interview every other Monday with some artists like Monty who've worked for Bill. Actually, tonight, Sam Morrison is going to be on with me for a bit.
Fantastic.
Yeah. But anyway, Sam is doing an album with Bill now. But Todd, Sam's also doing an album with Patrick Leeson and Michael Freed.
Right.
But anyway, just so you guys know, I'm doing like experimental, esoteric music on Monday nights. So, Todd, I know I'm
going to send you Dougie's a link to it. I promise you, man.
But Todd, I need you on with me, Todd. I need to hook up with you. You have to do a couple of nights with me, okay?
Okay.
Absolutely.
Let's talk in the next couple of days.
Yeah, definitely.
Okay.
So that's Monday nights. Todd's been on the show a few times, and it's just amazing the stuff he's brought to the, his keyboard playing is incredible. And
you play Hammond as well?
Yeah, I have. I tell you.
Like, what is your thing keyboard-wise? Is it more synthesizer or?
I'm an electronic musician. I have been for a while. I did. I'll tell you one thing. I played Hammond on because I arranged a record for John Hyatt some years ago. Because I arranged Slugline.
Oh yeah.
And
Slugline was one of his earliest records, I think.
Yeah, that was a big. Yeah.
That's when he first started.
When Denny Bruce was representing him, and I was.
I
was still back and forth with. In England, and I did that. I did Take Off Your Uniform. I'm just thinking about Hammond, and then some things with Booker T. Jones, who I actually saw last year because his book has been, he had a party for the release of his book pre-COVID.
Right.
And Marvin,
I'm not really an organist per se because I really respect what that is, but certainly like I do that.
That's a Booker T thing.
I'm an electronic musician.
That's great.
My roots are, around the time where I met John. See, because I studied through Trinity College of Music in London, and so I grew up on minims and quavers and crotchets. And then moved into these other areas. I think really, I found my voice certainly first, in the jazz world, working with John Handy, of course, who was alumnus of Charlie Mingus's band, and Bobby Hutcherson. Woody Shaw. I wrote a record for Julian Priester, great
Yeah.
trombonist. You know, I work with that's been my
I'd love to hear this stuff, Todd. I really
area.
would.
Yeah, it's there. I have snippets like on on my website, and then
Also,
that and
Marvin,
then- yes.
Marvin, just go to the podcast. I have a couple of Todd Cochran podcasts up.
Okay, great.
And we do his also, Marvin, if you look at B3, George Zoot Money. Zoot is the B3 artist there.
Okay.
You know what I did? I just wrote contributed the liner notes for re-release of Chester Thompson's solo album. Yeah, I just wrote for the liner notes for that just a couple of weeks ago.
Wow.
And
But Zoot
which
Money
he did in San Francisco. I'm a San Franciscan.
Okay.
And so all these things like sort of they just came together because that was the aesthetic, you know. I mean, I'm gonna tell you, my initial orientation to music is the classical world. That is it. I came through that, standard repertoire performance competitions, and that whole thing. Found my voice in jazz, and then I was just so wonderful to be drawn into this very wide and beautiful community of art rock, you see. So so that was it. And so so I've recorded Joan Armatrading,
Oh yeah.
Stuart Copeland.
Did you know Jerry
Peter
Donahue?
Whom?
Jerry Donahue, her guitar player.
No,
Yep.
no, I did
Dave
not.
Maddox.
No, and
Yep, I played with all of them.
huh?
What's that?
You played with all of them, huh?
With Jerry?
With Jerry, with Dave Maddox.
Did you know Maddox?
Yep, Dave Pegg. Jerry's
Pegg I
been-
didn't work with. I was a fan of Fairport when I was a kid. I saw them in high school with Sandy Denny.
Richard Thompson.
Wow,
What's that?
that's
Richard
great.
Thompson.
Yeah, Richard, I've co-written a couple songs with many years ago.
Wow.
Yeah, I'm a big fan of Richard.
We took
He's
Dave
great.
Maddox on tour with us.
Yeah, Dave Maddox.
Oh.
Yeah.
Dave plays on a record I arranged and.
Which album?
Called That Old Devil Called Love by Alison Moyet. It was a big hit in the UK.
Oh, great.
Dave is the drummer on that. So
Oh,
we
fantastic.
stayed in touch.
Oh, that's great. If you talked to him before, I gotta call him. I just worked with him on a record pre-COVID. We're wrapping it up now, but he's one of my favorites.
Lovely. I know Jerry can't play anymore, which is sad.
I know. You know, I did one of the last sessions with Jerry on a friend's recording. We did 3 songs in a day, and it was Dave Maddox and Jerry in the same session. And it was really magical the way that they, decades of kind of intertwining the way they played together.
Oh, totally, yeah.
It was really special. Yeah.
I mean, speaking of intertwining, I mean that's the whole thing. Like there is a core there. I mean, I think if you're seeking a certain type, if you're questing for a certain type of experience, that is music and art based, it will set a trajectory where you will encounter, people who will assist you and continue to expand that journey. And that's what I feel like there is for that reason, and just what I've seen work done here, Europe, of course England, Southeast Asia, Australia. There's a ring around the world, and just to kind of go back and what you had said earlier, just the fact that we're here encountering each other and kind of like sharing an oral history of the journey, which is by no way finished.
Yeah.
Todd,
yes.
I just wanted to just ask you about it. It seems to be an amazing way to be. You're completely American, and you said you went to Trinity in England, and that must have been a while when you were young. I came to England when I was very young to play music.
You went to Trinity, yeah.
So what was it? What year? What year was that? And
well, I tell you this, like
being-
I was taught. I'm going to tell you this, like I was taught by immigrants. They were French Canadian. I was taught by a French Canadian pianist, Geraldine Linegar, who was still concertizing at the time, and she was the head of the California Music Teachers Association and she had an affiliation with Trinity College of Music, and they send examiners around the world and throughout the Commonwealth. And so I started in that program when I was 8 years old. Wow. Through, the certificate, the degree, and so that's in theory and performance, and so that's how that came about. I was just very, very fortunate that, and I think Trinity's now they have a campus in Southeast Asia as well, Southern Asia, not Southeast Asia, but on the continent. And people know what that is. Everybody knows, well, the Royal School.
Sure.
I see John leaning in, huh? Mm-hmm. Yeah.
John, did you know Todd prior to this?
Me?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. You.
Yeah.
Yeah. We met in the 70s. Yeah.
Yeah. But
you know who I know that we may know, because we used to communicate all the time, is George Fenton.
Of course.
Yeah.
How's George doing? Because I was scoring. I started scoring in late 80s, 90s.
George is fine. I saw him just before lockdown, actually. I saw him at an event in London. And he seems fine, I used to do a lot, funnily enough, when he wasn't available to do TV things, he would recommend me, which was great, because I'm just getting my foot in the door.
He was really, I mean, you know what? We would talk on the phone and we wrote letters. We didn't have no internet, and I remember because I had a studio in Burbank for many years, and I just remember, we would just get into it, and he was really excellent, and I enjoyed his approach to scoring.
Yeah.
Hey, Todd.
Yes.
What's the status on the Automatic Man release?
Well, it is moving ahead. They have footage of us performing in the south of France. We played in Riviera that actually that Michael Wolf had it was filmed, and that was it was in a different codec, and so it was to be changed into
yeah.
So that's where that is, but things are definitely moving along with that, and but it's a slow process.
Sure.
And it's interesting, and there's I could share more details, but it might be boring to the others who are here right now, but I'm very excited about it because it was certainly a very, very important time, and it really reflected what was occurring at the moment, and so it's just, I always feel, music is not about music is about people and an experience, and we were able to really we were able to capture that, and that is certainly encapsulated in the music that
and I think there's a bigger buzz about Automatic Man now than there was.
Absolutely.
And I just think that band just kind of mushroomed as time went on. It was such a brilliant album when it came out. I just think it was.
Thank you. Well, it set so many things like in motion, and you mentioned Pat Gleason. Pat, who I've known forever, and Pat. See, I met Pat from my very good friend, lifelong friend. Herbie Hancock. See, and so most of the gear that I took my first trip to England, I bought from Pat, because he was a dealer, with the about Pat. Are you smiling?
Yeah.
Monty smiling, huh?
Yeah, Pat was Pat moved a lot of stuff.
Yeah. You know what I mean? And so I would take all of my whatever my publishing money, and it was gear. I had room full of gear, and so I was just trying to connect that thought, there are just certain things that are integral to the pursuit. And I think the reason why we're all like sitting here right now is that we have just been passionately pulled in to a quest of some sort, and that's invigorated us and fueled, our spirit, as seekers since. You see, that's the thing that, so we individually, we experience a certain type of awakening.
Right.
And I think we're being reawakened right now. I think that is something that certainly the pandemic has brought to our attention very vividly, because it's upset all of our rituals. You see, it's altered the dynamic of the rhythm of how we collaborate. It's changed how we intermingle.
Yeah.
You see, and that's really, really quite something,
Yes, and it also,
yes,
and like somebody said earlier, I mean, this is a room full of people that never would have been sitting in a room.
No.
In any other circumstance.
And I wouldn't have encountered John or Monty or any,
Yeah.
Marvin and, and Gray, who I did not know, and I know that you are all very, very productive and very woke,
right,
very conscious.
I'm
yeah.
And also, there's no drink or drugs going on that I can see, so it's healthier.
No
it's very
Guinness.
healthy. If we were on one,
Eliot, is that true or not true?
Look, nothing up my sleeve.
Nothing
Todd breaks for that looked like an innocent guzzle, but we could get seriously.
No, see the flask. If it were a flask, I'd be busted, right? Very innocent, huh?
That's right.
Yeah,
that's right. And
that flask is doing some really weird thing on your green screen when you. Put
it just went crazy, didn't it? Huh?
Yeah, but look what this pandemic has done. I mean, I think out of all the people on the people on the screen, I think the only person that I've actually been in a room with is Alan. Right, Alan?
Yes.
And that was a decade ago.
Many moons ago.
And a lot of you guys I've known, but nothing like this, and not into your I know more about everybody now than I did a year ago prior to this whole pandemic thing. So even though it's a nightmare and it's a curse and everything else, we kind of found a way to connect, and we found a way to keep it going. And we'll do it again. And it's just.
Well, I mean, let me tell you, like this situation is such, like it's impacted as well. And maybe I'd love to hear other people's idea. The situation and what we've been through is, I heard someone saying it's not my language at all. Particularly, like say, like within the last couple of 3 weeks. The impact of it is actually it's almost biblical. You see, so I think what we're all like experiencing at a deeper place. It's a call to action. And so, what is that action? It's advocacy. It's being present. It's certainly being transparent. And really putting forth our truth in a very, very dynamic way.
Right.
You see. Because there are fewer hiding places.
Yeah.
That's what I was getting at earlier, Todd, when I was saying.
Yeah.
There's another hand at play here.
Absolutely. Okay, I love that. That's good language. Yes, there is. Yeah, and I think that we could look at that, and that other thing, like look at how we're treating the environment. Look at our whole, social, political, geopolitical reality. Where that was, and it was like another hand like entered and say, well, look, we're going to just put some, would introduce something here where we're going to stop this, and we're going to have to recalibrate and do a major reset.
That's right.
Right.
That's what's going on.
That is what it is.
We got to recognize each other.
Absolutely.
At this time to say, wait a minute, we belong together. All of us here, we belong together, and we got to return more often than not. You can't just be like one of those parties. Oh yeah, I'll call you, and then it never happens.
Absolutely.
The repetition,
yeah.
the reminder of this is going to.
Yep.
It's going to be the glue that allows us to make more sense of what this time is really about.
Indeed.
Allowing the presence of each other, even if it's through technological means, it can still have meaning and power in our lives. And it'll affect other people as we tell this story. I mean, we can't even understand exponentially what's going to happen when each of us say, "What did you do today? What did you do yet?" Well, you won't believe it. I ran into guy Todd, and that was incredible. And Elliot did this, and Philip, and all these people were.
Right.
It's like, what? How did you meet them? It's like, and all of a sudden these stories get told, and it becomes bigger than just this one person talking at a time. So I remain optimistic about it, and I think that there's a spiritual component that we can't really explain, but we sense and feel, because I think it makes us feel a part of something that's bigger than ourselves, that there's actually something bigger than Zoom. I hate to disappoint anybody, but I think I really believe.
Well, hey, Marvin, before I forget, you're looking for.
Yes, sir.
You're talking about B3.
Yeah.
Zoot Money's the B3 genius. He's been playing B3 since 1910. Zoot.
That was before they were invented. That's a long time.
He must have had a steam one.
Now you got an original.
It was like a couple of years after electricity, right?
Yeah.
He was jamming with Edison.
Was it Tesla or Einstein?
And you know how crazy this thing is getting. Tom Garrett. You guys remember Tom from the last session? The guys that were on with me last. You remember Tom? Tom contacted me that there's a radio show going on in California, I believe, and they were doing a thing on people who played Hammonds. Can I get a hold of Zoot? And so, right, Zoot?
Oh, yeah, I did the interview. It was great.
He did the interview. Yeah, that guy makes me look like an amateur, right? Wait, I'm muting that.
I wouldn't have said exactly that.
I know.
But you've all been talking about stuff, all these people that you're in contact with, and all the names rattled off. They're all people that I've actually either played with or definitely spent some time with. I mean, Dave Mattox. I was on Andy Roberts' album with Dave Mattox and with Jerry when he was playing really, fast licks and shit. Very sad about Jerry too, of course. But you mentioned a whole lot of other people, and I can't understand. Well, I probably can understand why we've never, Mr. Cochran, we never met because we're in different time zones. And I was in the gut bucket market while you were studying music properly.
Oh, you know what? I'm still studying.
Yeah, aren't we all?
Every day I wake up and say, wow, I've got look at these other dimensions, they've only just tapped the surface.
I get that asked of me all the time, why are you still playing? And I say, I'm still learning. Every time I come back.
That sense of naivety and not knowing is absolutely precious. It's precious.
It's ongoing. It never stops.
Absolutely. It's just,
And Todd, to that point, with electronic music, I find that to be really true. The newness and the freshness, where it's endless, the possibilities.
And you know what I think. What it is. It's really those two things. It's the dedication, and the discipline, dedication, and the commitment. Because the commitment will take you there. You can pursue something to a certain point, and then something will come into your life, and you were almost there to realize that you were seeking, and something else comes in and it just shifts your attention, and you never fully realize that thing,
Yeah, why? And you say, why was I going down that path? Hey, look, there's a whole new road here.
Indeed.
That's right.
And that's a conversation.
Right.
Yeah.
That is a conversation.
Yeah.
You know, as a songwriter, you know, every day I open up another notebook and that page is blank. It doesn't matter what I wrote the day before. The new day starts with a blank page. I wanted to share this story, though, that maybe any of you could connect with, but what we're doing here is really significant with each other and for each other, because it's going to affect other people. But I had an experience a few years ago that was really life-changing. And I had been asked by the guitar player in the MC5. He had an organization, or has an organization, but it's probably shut down now, called Guitar Jail Doors. And what it was is they were looking, he brought me in to teach songwriting to prisoners in jail. And so I went to the jails in downtown LA. I mean, they have to do a whole check on me. You just don't walk in. Like it's a couple of weeks and you're okay. So I did that. But one of the things I shared with these guys who were hardened criminals, I mean, these guys were like, one guy had stolen money from his mother to buy crack cocaine. Another guy was stalking a woman inside her house. You know, I mean, the stories went on, and we'd have 4 or 5 guys in a circle. And I said, are you guys allowed to have a pen? And they said, yes. Are you allowed to have a notebook? And they said, yes. And then what would happen is that I said, here's what I want you to do, because I came in once a week. Like, let's say it was Wednesday night. And I said, by the time you see me next week, I want you to write a word before you go to sleep, a sentence, that's all, no pressure. Then the next day you write another word, next night another word. And then when you write one word, it leads to 2. You write one sentence, it leads to 2. And then the next day leads to 3. Well, this one guy who was in there for dealing and taking crack cocaine, he came to me, his notebook was filled with writing, and a lot of it was good. I helped them put songs together. They performed them in front of the prisoners. And he went up to me, he goes, I called my mama, and this is not a young guy, and he goes, I told her I was writing. He said, I made her cry. She didn't even know I could write. He said, I didn't know I could write. And he said, you're going to be back here next week. I said, you bet, you know. But it was story after story like that. The reason I share it is that, in a sense, in an unusual sense, we're in our own jails. We got to be here for each other and light this fire and this candle, remind each other that, yes, it matters when Todd experiments on that new sound he's going to get, or when Mooney's going to say, yeah, I'll play on your record. Of course I am. This is important stuff. This is the moment of liberation, gets us free again. You know, I think that there can't be anything more significant than what we're doing. None of us here have time to waste time. Those days are gone. We don't have that anymore. That was a luxury that we spent, you know, time ago. That's not what this is about. This isn't about wasting time. This is about bringing time and people together for a purpose that's bigger than any single person on here. But I hope you don't mind I shared that story.
No.
Oh, I love that story.
No, those are real. Those are real. There's so much in that.
Yes, that was Wayne Kramer, right?
Yeah, that's right, Wayne.
It was like a short story. It was cool.
Yeah.
Well,
yeah. I mean,
Can I ask Sue a question, please? Sue, you did an album called Magic Midgets, I believe, with Stevie Marriott and Ronnie Lane. Is that right?
Yeah, we spoke about that on some podcasts. Yeah.
Well, not strictly true.
Yeah.
That's not true. Not strictly true. In fact, the fact behind it is, I did the get together that I did in a pub in North London, with Jim Leviton on bass, and the only track on that album you're talking about, because they re-recorded it later on in studio using Blue Weaver doing the organ. One track, the live track on it, that's me playing in the pub, which we did. We had it on the Stones mobile. It was outside the pub. We recorded it all, but it wasn't so good on the actual recording because, believe me, that was like that night was like the Star Wars bar. You punch up everything.
Well, also, you know,
wonderful
Jim.
night of entertainment.
Jim, what's his name? Andy Summers came from Zoot's band.
Yeah, Andy Summers. Yeah, the Police. Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
Yep.
Andy Summers.
He did an album with Mike Shreve.
He was in
Andy Summers, before he was when I was in high school, Andy Summers lived above a garage at my friend's parents' house. And the deal is that the parents said, if you give our kid guitar lessons, we'll let you stay in this little a little apartment above the garage at a really good rate. I don't know what the deal exactly was, but I was never there for those lessons. But Andy Summers gave my friend guitar lessons and changed
it was 617 Irving Boulevard.
How did you know that?
I lived at 618.
You're kidding me.
No.
Did you know
Holy
that?
smokes.
Oh my God. Oh my God. Did you know Mike?
And I had a band together.
What's that?
And I had a band together in Shanghai.
Yeah.
That's unbelievable. Yeah, it's right near Wilshire Boulevard,
right?
right?
You covered, Marvin. Don't worry.
Oh my God.
Wow.
So did you know Mike Fries, the kid? Or did you know you know the Morgensterns, his parents?
I met him at one of Andy's gigs, and he
Oh
told
my
me
God.
And I
Yeah,
said,
he had like long blonde hair. Yeah.
I said, where was this apartment? He said it was 617 Irving Boulevard. I said, I live at 618.
Oh my God. John, that is unbelievable.
Maybe they got after.
I can't even believe. And it's not a story that I share at all. I've never shared that story before, ever.
This was meant to
That is
be.
insane.
Okay, so let's get to one of the new guys with a new album.
Nice to meet you. Nice to meet you, John.
Mark English has an album coming out in 2-3 weeks, right, Mark?
I have indeed. I'll have to apologise because by day I'm a teacher, and I appear to have signed in using my teaching email, which is why it says Mr. M. English Newland. Newland is the school that I teach at, so
we just thought
it looks rather formal.
We just thought you were bragging.
yeah, I thought so. We've got a new album out in 3 weeks now, February the 19th. It's due out. Yeah, we're looking forward to it.
What's it called?
It's got. I've even got a copy. Can you see? Is that?
Yes,
it is.
The
It's a
gold
very cheap
needle.
plug, but yeah, there's the vinyl. We're very pleased with it.
Wow. So what I like to do is I spoke to Mo about it. I like to get together with you and the guys and maybe do a pre-release interview. And
I've had a chat with the other guys. I think we're 7 hours ahead of you.
Yeah, I'll do it in the morning. I'll do it in the morning, like this time, whatever.
Yeah, that'd be fine. Yeah, we can sort that out. That'd be great.
Yeah, I'd love to get you guys on all together and talk about the album. Also, so that's your album coming out. That's on Gem, and Gem is a label that's pretty big in New Jersey, where part of our crew's in here. There now. Alan's in Jersey.
John Lennon tribute recently, didn't they? John Lennon album.
Yeah, Alan's in Jersey, Mo's in Jersey, and a lot of the Gem guys, the Smithereen Studio, the guys who, that other Gem band, that
the Gripweeds.
Yeah, the Gripweeds.
Yeah, it's Kurt Ryle, House of Vibes Studio.
Yeah, they have a studio there. And something interesting, you guys had to do most of your album outside, right?
Yeah, we did. Yeah, we started it. It's funny because I think John was talking earlier about pre-lockdown, and we seem to talk in the UK of pre-lockdown like it was a different historical age now. And we'd started it pre-lockdown and then got stuck. And then things started to just open up a little bit in the summer last year. So we were actually meeting it. We've got a little recording, our own digital recording set up. And we literally set it up in my garden. And we would record as much as we could in real short bursts while we could get together. And then it would be like, right, you can't meet up again. And so we got a lot of it done. We had to use a session drummer. So a guy down south for us called Will Jones was a great drummer. He drummed on the album for us. And then we sent it across to the States where Kurt did a bit of drumming, did a bit of harmony, vocals for us, mastered it all, remixed a couple of the tracks. And we were saying before, through the wonders of technology, we've managed to put it all together, produce an album that we're really proud of. And it's coming out on vinyl, CD and all the usual download stuff as well. So it's what's the phrase? Necessity is the mother of invention. You find ways.
Yeah,
absolutely.
What's it called again?
It's called What's Tomorrow Ever Done for You?
What's
great title.
Yeah. And how about you, Gray?
Great
What are you
title.
working on?
We're doing.
Guys, I just got a message that I've got to get on to somebody who's just texted me. So I really love being here. Thank you very much for everybody's input. It's been really lovely. But I'm going to say good night, goodbye, and adios.
Okay.
Phil, I'm going to bother you. You'll be on again next month, okay? Have a good day.
Sure. No, it'd be great.
Hi, Phil. Nice meeting you.
Hopefully see some of you again.
Okay.
Ciao. Sayonara.
Bye-bye.
Great.
Did you say Gray or Greg? I don't know.
Great. I said
Great.
great.
Yeah, you guys have to.
How are
check
you,
out-
Gray? I can say Gray. How are you?
Right?
That's great.
Ray,
Yes.
can you turn your volume up, please?
Yeah.
If you
Yeah.
can.
So
Is that better?
A little bit, yeah.
Just marginally.
I can do it. It's
That's
all the way
very
up.
good.
Oh,
There we
okay,
go.
good. Yeah.
Good, thank you.
yeah.
Well,
You don't
I'm co-parenting with my ex-husband, who's in a band called the Old 97s, and so. And he's got all kinds of recording equipment in his living room. So I was planning on making a record that Marvin was going to produce, but that got put, because of all this stuff. But finally, I just thought, why not just make it in his living room? So Marvin gets on FaceTime with us and produces the track, and then we record in my ex-husband's living room, and he's like, I play guitar, I play bass, I'm just going to play for you. And I was like, okay, great. So we put on the basic tracks, and then we send them around to these amazing players that we probably never would have gotten had it not been for COVID, people that are really well. We did a cover of Georgia, and Marvin goes, hey, do you want to get the harmonica player from Willie Nelson's version of the song? And I was like, sure. So we sent it out to him, and the guy was a doll. He had one of my records. He was like, oh, I love her records. And so it was just like mind blowing. He did it, and we got some really amazing players that probably never would have been able to get. So it is a strange time.
So this is where the future is going to bring us. This is what the future is, right?
Right.
I mean, it's like less access, but almost more access to people because
more access.
Yeah, that's an interesting.
Yeah, but I think it plays on that desire for connection, right?
Yes.
Like
absolutely.
As an artist and a musician, it's inherent for us to want to connect with people, I believe. And the traditional setting of meeting in a room or having a discussion and creating a record, that's a certain energy and a certain feeling that's very rewarding.
Yeah.
Yep.
And I think for me, when COVID hit, I felt a certain grounding that I'd never felt before, while also acknowledging the grave concern for what was put in front of us with the pandemic. And then from an artistic standpoint, I started thinking, well, where do I go next? I can't go to the studio and write songs with my bandmates. So it from a creative standpoint, it allowed me to step back, metaphorically, re-examine what I've done. I've done other kinds of music, improvisational stuff, experimental, metal, punk rock. And I really just sort of reviewed what I had done and figured out, well, what can I do here and now? And it opened up other projects that might not have gotten done. I have a certain circle of people I work with, and we found ways to make it work. And, I did another record with Bill that we finished a week before my daughter was born. So I say it lightly in the sense that the pandemic is not good, and we all want that to sort of recede.
Right.
But given the obstacle, because life is full of obstacles, we never know what's going to be put in front of us. As artists, we respond to that. And so, Gray, when I hear you speak about, finding ways to make it work and then meeting new people in the process.
Right.
Yeah.
This is that positivity that Marvin has, right? You find ways to make it work. You find ways to move forward. The creative community, we all support each other, and we find ways to get things done.
And people are not on tour. There's so many people that are
Right.
available
No,
because
that
they're
is
normally on
true.
tour. I've
That's
written
right.
15 songs in like 3 months, and I was thinking, what's the difference? Because I don't know why all of a sudden I have this creative spring, and then I realized because I'm not filling up my time with being busy and being out and going. I was always out,
Right.
like either performing,
Right.
or just like always no stillness, to just
Yep.
sit with your thoughts.
And not only that, I'll tell you what I found. The first month, I sat down and ripped myself apart. You start thinking too much,
Right.
and you get into your own head. I did
Right.
this, I did this, I did this, and then the second month, I started ripping Zoot Money apart. He did this, he did this, right, Zoot? No, but you know what I mean. And then you start.
Making me remember things I wanted to forget.
I know,
for years.
but then you start putting yourself back together again. It's, you know what, I might have messed up here, but I didn't mess up here. And it got to the point where I was sitting around and I said, what am I going to do with my life at this point? I can't do my entertainment company was shot. This was shot. So I started calling up some old rock buddies that I knew, and and one thing led to another. I met some of the greatest people. I met Todd, and I know Todd did his due diligence. He spoke to Michael Shreve. Am I crazy? Am I a stalker? That kind of thing.
right.
Find out.
Yeah. And I got the thumbs up, and so one thing led to another, and to another, and to another. I met Mo. Mo introduced me to Marvin. I met John online. Would I have ever had the nerve to give Bill Laswell a call and say, "Hey, you want to do a radio show with me?" Unless something like this had happened, and it's just crazy. David Jackson, who I've been a fan of for years and years and years, one of my favorite sax players. He was kind enough to talk to me 2-3. I could call up Dave and just kill an hour on the phone with him talking about nothing, right, Dave?
Not nothing. It's all very interesting.
But you know what I mean. Just kill an hour. Now, a guy like John Altman. You see what's on the wall behind him? That's the nicest. That's the nicest screensaver I've ever seen.
Oh yeah.
You guys may think that's real. It's just green screen. Mine's coming this week. But it was cool. Some of you guys, Jim McCarthy, me and him, we fight like brothers, we make up like brothers. We've, it's that kind of thing. And one thing leads to another. I met Gray through Mo and Marvin and Willie. I thought Willie would be on with us today, but English, Mr. English. I met Mark through Gem Records, which came through Mo. So it's just the whole thing. Alan's an old friend. I know Alan from my Jersey days, but Alan, do you ever think you'd be sitting in a room with these guys?
No, this is amazing. This is really a hell of a heck of a thing. Great.
I have to leave because I've got a bunch of cartoons to start recording. But thank you guys so much for having me.
I'm going to stop you. I need some voice drops from you.
Voice drops. Okay, yes. Just send me what you want me to say, and I'll record it on my own, and I can send you.
Can we do a podcast with Gray?
Elliot, Elliot, I just want to say before Gray goes, we're wrapping up her next album. It's going to be the debut on Regional Records. It's called Willie, We've Missed You. But the
I know.
first single is called Valentine. So let's set up a show with a Valentine show with Gray for the single.
It's done.
Okay.
Thank you
All
so
right.
much, Elliot.
Don't make it so difficult, Elliot.
Nice to meet you guys. Okay.
Hey, I'll talk to you later.
It was
wonderful.
Hey,
Thank you,
thanks for
everybody.
being here,
Thank
T-Roy.
you. Thank you, totally.
Yes.
Okay.
Bye, Gray.
Bye.
Okay.
Bye.
You guys know the Loud House, that TV show, The Loud House, the cartoon?
No.
Gray does like 2 or 3 of the sisters on that. She does Simpsons. She does incredible voice.
Hey guys, I don't. Now that she's not on here, she's, and I'm not saying it because she's like family to me. I've known her for 20 years. I produced every recording, right? I produced her before. I'll just share this funny story with you guys. I got a call from her 20 years ago. She said, "You play mandolin?" Yeah, I got a call from a friend of mine who says you do. Okay, hey, could you come by the studio and play mandolin on a song? I said, okay. So I go to the studio, I bring a few mandolins, and she said, well, I'll play you something. And I'm sitting and having a cup of tea and go, hey, this is really good. You know, you should be on a label or something. You're like really good. I said, what are your plans for this recording? It was just an acoustic guitar and her voice. It was very good.
Well,
And she said,
yeah, she has
plans,
a gorgeous voice.
right? And she said, plans for my recording. I was just I'm going to make one copy for my grandmother. That's my plan. That was it. That was it. So I played on one song. She said, well, will you play on another? Anyway, I played on this whole record. I said, look, call a friend of mine up. He's a brilliant photographer. Do a photo with him. Just print up a CD, hand them out to people, but call it your first album. You know, and she did that. Then we went in and we did an album with a rhythm section and had strings, and because we were both talking about, you know, Billy Sherrill and Tammy Wynette and all the country politan kind of stuff. We did that album, and then that led her to sign the Sugar Hill Vanguard. We did 2 more there. Then she took a break, married, kids, before, you know. So now she's back. A few years ago, we did an album. We're wrapping it up. We're going to put it out this year. But on the voiceover side, I'm not involved with it, but she's more than Mel Blanc, who did Bugs Bunny. She's the #1 voiceover actor in the country. Nobody has more voices than her. I mean, it's kind of unbelievable. And she can do them like at the drop of a hat. Like she did that one voice. You could have her do 2, 3 in a row, and she just like goes up within a breath. It's like a bizarre.
Incredible.
Yeah, it is incredible. Anyway, it's easy for me to talk about it without being here.
So my friends, we've been on for 90 minutes already.
That's incredible.
And I'd like to invite everybody on to next month's. Oh, what's that?
Okay, great. Let's do it.
Check out this Todd Cochran re-release.
You have a date set for it?
That was released several years ago, and that kind of set a whole other thing. And I have a new recording coming out late spring. It's an acoustic recording. I'll tell you more about it. And
all right.
And it's come there, and it's actually connected with what I would actually call like a visual. You know, there's a visual component to it as well. Parts of it is a visual album, and it's coming out on it's on Sunnyside Communications, and so there's physical and certainly digital. We're probably going to look at going to be focusing on Europe first, then Japan, and then of course here. And I'm very excited to be full on committed into performing and this again. And I've been pulled into the world of visual storytelling. And so I've been making, these short films as well. And it just brings all these other elements together.
What format do you do the short films? And are these like kind of abstract visuals with your music, or what?
No, there's narrative, there's all sorts of things. you know, I'm a conceptual artist, and
Yeah.
so like that, it comes across that way, and yeah,
I'd like
I'd
to
be,
see this because
be
I'm
happy
real
to share it with you.
fascinated
Yeah,
with film. And
it's really good. Yeah, we've been talking about. Actually,
can you send me some of this stuff, Todd?
Yeah, well, let's just change. We'll exchange.
Yeah, Elliot's got all my. He
Mhm.
could. He, you know.
Or you
Elliot
can put
will.
it in the chat
Elliot, you
window or
do the
something like
thing
that.
with everybody.
Yeah, just
Okay.
yeah.
Yeah.
I'm the kingpin here.
Okay. Elliot the kingpin.
But let me tell you what. Let's take the lid off of this and do the big reveal about Eliot. See, Eliot is a great communicator.
Yeah.
And he loves musical expression very, very deeply, and he's dealt with it with creative people in some of the most intense situations that that you could encounter. That personality, and we all have this inherent, dimension to us, Eliot's a great conversationalist, but more so, he's a facilitator.
Yeah.
And that's a very, very important role in.
How about a hand for Eliot?
The whole global thing. Yeah, there we go. There it is. How's that?
Thank you, brother.
Stop it, guys. Stop it.
All right.
Todd, thank you. You're giving me too much credit. I happen to have been in the right place at the right time, and
yeah, but you're feeling it too. There are a whole lot of people who are there, and there are people who don't advocate for that thing that it is. They don't,
But
they're not expressive about it, So what it is, it's an act of giving.
I spoke to you before the new year. I told you one of the highlights, you talking to guys like John, talking to Mr. Jackson, Marvin, Monty. I'm the luckiest guy in America right now. I can't forget Zoot. Zoot was one of my first interviews. And Zoot's another guy I could call up and just babble about anything, and he'll sit there and laugh.
He'll sit there and leave the room.
Yeah, Jim. I told you, Jim became like Jim was ill. My grandkids are writing him postcards and drawing stuff for me to send to England because I just made some great friends this year, and I really love all of you guys.
Absolutely.
And I'm one of the few people that's seen Automatic Man live as well.
Okay, right.
That's right.
So that's a real plus.
Yes.
Well, yeah.
And I saw.
And whereabouts are you? I'm like so looking forward to returning to England. I've got so many great friends. Charles Waring is a very good friend of mine. Do you know Charles? Charles Waring.
Is he a writer or?
He's a writer. Yes.
Yeah. The name sounds familiar. Yeah.
Yeah, and we met. He did the liner notes for a re-release of an album I produced for Sony some years ago, and we just completely connected. And I've got other buddies. Chris Kimsey, Chris and we're in touch all the time, and it's just something that just kind of like happened. I'm a San Franciscan, but I've definitely, there's always been something happening there.
I used to live in London, Todd, and when I went to see I was about 6 miles away from central London because you guys, I saw you at the Marquee in
we put
in Wardour Street, I think it was. Tiny little London centre, for those who know, is very small and cramped. Really.
And you have an association with Bad Company.
What the comics? I was involved in a very successful comic strip called Bad Company. It ran for
right, okay.
Not the band, but it was
not the band. Okay.
Well, hey, Jim.
Very, another, because it's just. Go ahead. I'm sorry, Eliot. Please go ahead.
It's okay, Jim. You might have seen Automatic Man live, but I actually was in a room with Pat and Michael Shreve and Pat Thrall when Thrall was playing with Travers.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah. And Todd Rundgren was there, and some other cool people. That's when I was with Michael, and
Yeah, so it was great, and for me, it led me to I did things with David Bowie's band, the Real Thing, and I've recorded with Jim Capaldi, and of course, Bill Bruford, and the Yes People, and
That's right. Yeah, didn't you also worked with
Stuart
Carl
Copeland.
Palmer? Carl Palmer.
Copeland, yeah, with Animal Logic, with Stanley Clarke, and
Yeah, but weren't you in Carl Palmer's band too?
Yeah, I had a band with Carl. Yeah.
Yeah.
And
I wrote a lot of charts for The Real Thing in those days.
Who was that speaking?
Me.
You did. So I
wrote a lot of string arrangements for them.
Okay.
Right, they were a great band, man. They
were really, and oh man, I could tell you, some stories.
I was in Hot Chocolate as well.
Oh, really?
Oh, wow, fantastic.
That's how they got their name.
But they were really great, and I'm gonna tell you, I'm trying to think of another band too that I really, really loved.
What's in Hot Chocolate on Apple Records?
Rod Temperton's band.
And what?
Heat Wave.
Rod Temperton. Yeah, Heat Wave.
Yeah, Hot Chocolate.
Sorry, what was that?
And Hot Chocolate. Okay.
I was asking, wasn't Hot Chocolate on Apple Records?
No.
Their first record was on Apple. Their first ever record was on Apple.
Was it? Okay.
Wow, that's
Give
pretty
Peace
good.
a Chance.
Wow.
What's that?
A reggae version of Give Peace a Chance. And John Lennon signed them to Apple.
Wow.
And then they got rid of them after one, and Mickey Most took over Rack.
Mickey Most, wow. And
then came the hit.
And
Did you ever work with Mickey Most?
Yes, I joined the band in 1975. So I did 2 years. Then I joined Van Morrison as his musical director.
Yeah. Now, when you were with Morrison, was that on Bang Records?
No, he was at Warner Brothers.
Oh, okay. Because Bang was what's his name? Burt Burns. Yeah.
Right.
No, Van was decided he wasn't going to make any more music.
Right.
And it's funny because we then formed a band with Mick Ronson, that we've all talked about, and Dr. John, and Pete Van Hook, and Mo Foster on bass.
Wow.
Incredible.
Pedigree stuff.
Mr. Dr. John. Love it.
Yeah. He was
I'm a big fan of Professor Longhair.
Me too.
Yeah, me too.
You know what I mean?
Too.
This,
Yep.
Yeah, and so we can get into that whole, it's exciting. It's invigorating,
Well,
I'm sorry. This is the stuff that turned us on,
Yep.
That's why we're here.
I did an album with Dr. John playing tenor and baritone.
Oh, yeah? Okay.
Live in London with Chaz Jankel on keyboards.
Wow.
I didn't know
Jankel, wow.
that.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, it's really...
Chaz Jankel, man, he was one of my... man, he was it for me. I loved him. Questionnaire, what a tune.
I arranged that.
I know you did.
That's me.
John,
I know you did.
Ian Jury and the Blockheads are one of the best bands I ever saw.
Yes.
Man.
Yeah.
They funked it so big, it was unbelievable.
Yep. And Chaz
they didn't kill the audience,
And Chaz was Dury's partner.
Yeah. Well, Chaz was in my teenage band with Pete Van Hook, Rick Parnell from Spinal Tap.
Wow.
The drummer, Rick Parnell. Wow.
No, I'm in.
Chaz Jankel and me.
Wow.
We're all like 16.
And what's the deal with Jules Holland?
Well, it's his birthday today. I don't know.
The drummer with Jules Holland's fabulous. Gilson Lavis.
Gilson's a great
Yeah.
Gilson's a lovely player.
Yeah, he's got out of the hospital.
He studied with Buddy Rich, and he's a great guy. I've met Gilson. I haven't seen him for ages. He's a great bloke.
Nice player.
Hey, John, did you ever deal with Sal Marquez?
Yeah, I played with Sal in LA a lot.
Yeah. Sal's a great guy. I talk to Sal a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah, Sal's doing good.
Again, all the interconnections.
Yeah.
Well, you know this. My first cousin is Simon Phillips, who was playing.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Wait, let's go back.
Now, I haven't seen Simon in a long time.
Todd, John Altman's uncles were the arrangers for the Marx Brothers, for Judy Garland, for Sinatra, right?
That's how I grew up with people like Judy Garland around.
Lineage,
That
man.
is cool.
Yeah.
It's all
That's some strong DNA.
That's powerful, man.
The first drummer Ian Jury had was at Charlie Charles. He could really play, man. And then he died, I think. He was fabulous.
He died.
Yeah.
Well,
he did that great drum roll on Sex and Drugs and Rock and Roll. That roll around the so fantastic, you know.
I did a flight back from LA to London with Ian Dury and Pam Ferris, the actress. The whole time. And eventually I said, I'm going to get some sleep before we land in London. And at that moment, they said, we're just about to land in London. Whole night.
Yeah. The craziest flight I ever took was with Iggy Pop and Susie Sue.
Oh, my God.
Yeah, I flew from Minnesota to New York with them. And that was a trip and a half. Yeah. That was great. And that was when Iggy was still a little off the rails.
I thought the real thing album where they had the couple of big hits. Were you on that, Todd?
Yes.
Everything. And
yes.
That was such a smash, that song, when it came.
Yeah, and they still play it, don't they?
Yeah.
It's
that's classic. It's an absolute stone classic.
No, Howard Johnson died, right?
Yeah.
A week or two ago.
Who, the hotel owner?
No, the tuba player.
That's a different.
He was like CBS's horn go-to horn arranger. He did a lot of work with
he played
Taj Mahal.
on He was Gil Evans, tuba player and baritone.
Wow.
Wonderful player.
Yeah.
Franco hasn't said anything tonight. Poor things.
Yeah.
Conversation.
Franco's not even home.
Well, this
Franco
has
went
been
out
very, very, very wonderful.
Yeah.
I'm behind on a call that I have to make to New York.
Okay, go.
I've really enjoyed speaking, communicating, meeting everyone. And it's always nice to have a face connected to the voice and all that. And please reach out.
Yes.
Okay.
I'm here.
Eliot, you'll connect us all. I'm going to say goodnight to everybody.
Okay.
And Eliot, we're going to talk the next day or two. I definitely want to stay in touch with everybody here. Todd, God bless everybody.
Yeah, absolutely.
Really great.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
Be safe, be well, and be strong.
You guys too. Todd, I'll give you a call in a day or two, okay?
All right, I'm around.
Hi, everyone. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thanks, Eliot.
Bye-bye. Yeah,
Nice to meet everyone.
Very beautiful.
Okay.
Thank you.
Everybody's clicking out. I'll talk to everybody and we'll do this again.
Absolutely.
Last Monday in February. I'll send everybody.
Thank you very much, Eliot.
Thank you, Eliot.
All right. Thank you so much, man. All right.
Bye, everybody.
Bye-bye.
Beautiful. Thank you.